On the threshold of global war, it looks toward the coming years and concludes that, faced with such peril, we must love one another or die. Auden well understood the power of hate and the redemptive necessity of love. His poems chronicle both, from the institutionalized hate found in political repression to the amorous love of romantic partners. It is no surprise, then, that when the world was on the verge of a Second World War, the poet would turn again to love, this time to frame it as the only alternative to ruin. In the wake of 9/11, when it looked as if the forces of hate once again had the wind at their backs, Auden's case for love took on renewed relevance. But what does this have to do with health? We seldom think of love and hate as linked to health, but they are central to the issue. In the early days of World War II, and later in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, hate threatened health in stark terms. Imminent threats of violence through acts of war. Love, meanwhile, served as a path to building the resilience needed to withstand the dangers of the moment. But love and hate do not need a time of crisis to shape health. They influence our well-being every day. Hate creates the trauma and divisions that undermine the health of individuals and societies. Love functions as the antidote, fostering acceptance and community and the health benefits that come with them. As history has shown, both love and hate mobilize people in pursuit of ambitious goals that can shape society in ways both positive and profoundly negative. In World War II, hate led to the deaths of millions and the crime of the Holocaust. In South Africa, after the end of apartheid, love was on display during the country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission as family members of apartheid's victims sought justice for their murdered loved ones. Their testimonies helped the country process the injustice of its past and transition into a new political era without the violence that can accompany such shifts. The forces of love and hate are in continual conflict. This is regularly dramatized in popular culture, from the light and dark sides of the Force in Star Wars to the battle between Harry Potter and Lord Voldemort. Popular culture defines love and hate by their mutual opposition, with human actions manifesting both sides. Given to hate, humans strengthen its ability to undermine health by creating a society that welcomes anger, bigotry, and violence. By embracing love, humans can achieve a healthier society, one characterized by compassion, solidarity, and respect. Individuals choose between love and hate each day in their interactions with other people. Collectively, we choose between love and hate in the political sphere. The acuity of this relationship was on display in August 2017 when a group of white supremacists marched on the city of Charlottesville, Virginia, to protest its intent to remove a statue of the Civil War General Robert E. Lee. The protesters saw Lee's efforts to preserve the right to own slaves as a gallant defense of a racial hierarchy worth returning to. Their beliefs and their presence in Charlottesville inspired a counter-protest composed of people who stood against the tide of bigotry and hate. The encounter between these groups eventually turned violent, and a young woman named Heather Heyer was killed when a man who sympathized with the white supremacists allegedly drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters. Just as the conflict in Charlottesville was inflamed by the hateful message of the white supremacists, the tragedy was deepened by the equivocating rhetoric of President Trump. In his comments on the violence, the president hesitated to condemn the white supremacists, saying instead that there was bigotry and violence on many sides that day. These events show how hate does not exist in a vacuum. It emerges from our politics and the complex system of forces that define health and society. How does hate shape health? The events in Charlottesville reflect how hate undermines health through three pathways. 1. By threatening people's physical well-being through violence and trauma. 2. By destabilizing communities through bigotry and hateful rhetoric. And 3. By laying a foundation for political policies that embed hate in the laws and institutions that